Hello, friends. This is a Wednesday, and what we're going to start is a Wednesday wisdom series where we invite experts and talk to them about what do they think about money. So, as you all know, every Sunday I pick up a book and I discuss it on a Sunday, and then I try to get the author for detailed discussion about it. But today there's a twist in the tale, and today, since we are bidding, adieu to 2020, the year is ending. I've decided to recollect some of the biggest lessons that we learned in this year. So I've invited a friend who's also a financial expert and a certified financial planner, and we'll understand from him as to how does he think of 2020 and what we should be thinking in our minds about the coming year. So let's see our station, and let's see once he joins us about how he looks at 2020 in his own unique style. So I think Kalpesh is here. Hi, Kalpesh. How have you been?
Fine, Pallavi. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I hope you're safe, and I think you're working. I mean, it's a working day for you, and you're working in the office itself,
Absolutely.
not from. Okay, so things have started getting normal. So as you
Absolutely.
know,
Things are
every Wednesday I speak to experts and try and understand money from their perspective. And Kapish, what I feel is that those of you who follow you on your social media platforms, they know that you're passionate about two things. One is finance and one is films. So if you were to describe 2020 in your style, how would that be?
simply speaking, if I combine both the things and what comes to my immediately, and that's exactly what the year has been for everyone, be it their life or be it their finances. And I think there's no better way than having our own shares of joys and sorrows, which we have taken it in our stride. And in fact, most of us, I think the majority of us, have fought it, overcome it, and moved forward.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, you have a knack in explaining any complex issue, any complex concept through a story. I remember reading your book, Yours Financially, which you wrote somewhere in 2017, and I reviewed it last year. Never for a moment I felt, that it's about finance. I mean, I was so involved into that love story, which begins from a college romance, and how they go out and the financial ups and downs that they see through, and it's very much inspired by the 2008-9 recession. So first of all, tell us what inspired you, and how does the book still remain relevant even when 2020 is ending?
So what inspired me was, experiences, and these are my, own client experiences, experiences of financials with my friends, my families, and in fact some of my personal experiences also. And when I look back in hindsight, you always feel that they could have been rectified if you were aware of certain parameters or certain things to do in the right way, but you were unfortunately unaware of it, and you committed those mistakes, and those mistakes are committed by everyone. And it's I think now my duty to give it back to the society in terms of creating financial awareness, that the earlier you know what not to do is when you're on the right path rather than what to do, because finance is such a complex field that if you get caught in the wrong things, it's just a spiraling downwards type of a scenario. So that was my main inspiration, that to share my experiences of what all I have gained personally and professionally, and give it back to the people, this time in a form of a book. Now when you write a finance, obviously the first reaction is people would say, ye mujhe samajh mein nahi aata. So
Right.
that is a big problem with, and people would equate it with jargons, and people would say that there'll be long terms, there'll be arithmetics in it, and there'll be percentages which we'll be talking about. But I decided to let me do it in a different way, and I just picked up my passion, which is movies. And I said, let me make up a story of a fiction, obviously, which would make people identify with the real life, I would say, the stories of what the characters in the book are with themselves. And I believe that many people who've read the book have related to that a lot. And for them, like as in you said, that not at one moment they felt that, they were reading a book on finance, and automatically the mistakes, the achievements, the pitfalls, the milestones, and the day-to-day problems, plus all of that embedded in the financial crisis which the world saw. First, emanating in 92 when the big scam took place in India, in Harshad Mehta scam. Then you had the 2000 boom and bust, in fact, and the major one, 2008, the depression. So I had covered all these things through a story of two couples and their love stories and how they encounter it in their own respective ways.
Surely, in fact, I have the copy also of yours financially, which I read a year ago, more than a year now. But as I said that, still it remains relevant because 2020 itself, it's been a year that has, left us with a lot of memories, good or bad, kabhi khushi, kabhi gham, as you rightly said. So I would like to know from you if 2020 has inspired you to write a sequel to yours financially. I mean, is that in the pipeline?
That's a good question. In fact, if three previous, I would say the lows in the equity market or in the world economies inspired me to write the first book, I think the mother of all the recessions or the mother of all downfalls we witnessed in 2020. And I think that would be a good starting point to have a sequel to it. Surely it has brought in a lot of thoughts, Pallavi, in my mind as to how best can we, learn from all these things which we've encountered in the last year, either financially or non-financially. So our life and finance both have been impacted. And believe me, in the next 1 year, whether it is a finance book or a non-finance book, you'll be hearing from me soon.
That would be great. In fact, if I remember it correctly, this year also, like in 2020, you came out with another book, though it's co-authored with some of your colleagues, 5 more writers. So tell us what has been the experience and a little bit about the book.
Yeah, so that's a book called Immunize Your Financial Portfolio, and I was privileged to share my thoughts in this book with 5 renowned other financial experts who put in their ideas about it. But one thing was there, that this book was written in probably April, May 2020, when we had just experienced this pandemic, and we didn't get that bad going forward. But the learnings, ideas which were put in that book from all 5 to 6 of us still hold good. And I would like to reiterate those points very, very emphatically to all the people who are listening. First and foremost is have a financial plan in place. It's not that because we are financial planners we tell you, but if you have a financial plan in place, it eases out most of your worries, even in the worst of conditions, what we've seen as bad as it can get in 2020 also. So if you have a financial that is point number 1. Second one is, have a contingency fund in place for sure, because this contingency fund is going to be your, I think, a knight in shining armor when things go bad for you. And, having 3 to 6 months of expenses always kept aside does absolutely no harm to anyone's portfolio. We've repeated that, and we've seen job losses, we've seen pay cuts, we've seen all types of, calamities coming in people's lives. So a contingency fund will let you breathe easy when the things are not good. Then I would go into health insurance. We all financial planners have been telling, advisors have been telling, has to be there always in place. So that is a must. Health insurance is a very big thing, and we all saw that what could happen if, in case health insurance is not in place, and the expenses in the hospital could throw a personal budget out of place. Then you have the will, and I've put that in my book as well, Pallavi, that in absence of a will, a family could land up in a very, very bad spot if the assigned assets are not in place. So have a will in place as soon as you have built up assets of sizable size. And one lesson in 2020 which we've learned is don't ever stop your SIPs if you have the cash flow to support it. Because people who stop their SIPs against the run of things in April, May, the markets just shot up after the initial drastic fall, and it's all for to see that they've ended up with returns of more than 50% or 60% in the space of last 7 to 8 months, which is phenomenal. So SIP is that magic silent.
If you were to, okay, so if you were to say this in your style, like as you mentioned, in fact, I was about to come there, that every time a crisis hits, people start withdrawing their money, they start redeeming their funds or maybe their insurance policies or anything. So if you have to define it in a filmy language or any filmy dialogue or any film, how would that be?
So simple. Thanks for asking me this. अपनी SIPs को कभी अलविदा ना कहना.
That would be an absolute tip for the people who are watching, and we hope that we keep all these lessons in mind. So one last thing, what is your expectation from the coming year? Like, again, you have to say it in a film dialogue or any song.
I wouldn't put it in a film.
2021.
I wouldn't put it in a filmy dialogue, but I would put it from an ad from Amitabh Bachchan is अपना टीका पहले लगवा ले. Get vaccinated first.
Okay. Sure.
So
that was indeed a great. So that was indeed a great interaction, and we hope to see the sequel very soon to Yours Financially. And the book is available on Amazon. Anyone who's watching can go to Amazon and order the book. Thanks a lot, Kalpesh, for this wonderful interaction. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot. My pleasure.
So guys, this was it for Wednesday Wisdom series. We wanted to go for the shorter format, so we just tried this on Instagram. Otherwise, I do have a YouTube channel called Money Talks Unscripted. You can do a little bit of mehnat and search for it on Google and watch the videos. So far, I've reviewed 5 books on the channel, and previously also I've done some books. All of these are personal finance books. So if you have the time and if you have the will to understand more about money in a very lighter mode, books के through अगर आप जानना चाहते हैं money को, तो आप जाके check कर सकते हैं Money Talks Unscripted. Till then, take care of yourself and have a wonderful new year.